about Excel that makes it really nice is that it tries to make your life simpler when you're entering data. And there's several tools and techniques that you can use to make your data entry process go faster. So let's start by writing in sample number in cell A3. If I want to move down, I can just hit enter and then it'll move me down to the next cell. I can also use the arrows on my keyboard to move around, or I can just click in whichever cell I want to enter numbers into. To move right to left, again, use your arrows, or you can use your tab key, which will move you across within a row. Come back in here to cell 4 and let's enter 1, 2, 3. I've entered a series of consecutive numbers. Now Excel tries to guess at what you're doing, and that can be used to your benefit most of the time. So if I highlight 1, 2, 3, you'll notice there's a little black box with a break around it. If I hover my cursor over that little black box so I get the little plus sign, I can click and drag down as far as I'd like the consecutive numbers to go. And if you'll notice to the right of that dragged portion, you'll see the number 20, because when I let go, it'll autofill to 20. If I dragged farther, it would continue autofilling as far as the number of cells I have highlighted. So that's a fast and easy way to fill in when you have consecutive numbers. Similarly, you can do it if you have the same number. Let's enter a series of 2's. Now, you might need to do, let's say 3, in order to tell Excel, look, I just want 2's. I don't want you to continue going up 3, 4, 5. So I highlight the 2's and I can click over the little box and drag down and fill in that whole column with 2's if I wanted to. And you can do this with text as well. If I wanted it to say plot in every single cell, I can highlight those. Let's say, please fill these in with the word plot, and it'll drag it down. Again, just a really simple one. If I want to delete something, highlight the whole set of what you want to delete, click delete on your keyboard, and it goes away. That's pretty handy. Now let's say I wanted to cut and paste some numbers. So let's come up here and let's enter in plot 2. We'll put in plot 1. Let's come back to that later. But if plot 2, if I had a set of numbers in here and I wanted to copy them to another row, I can do it a variety of ways. Just like in Word, you could click and highlight them, right click, copy, move to the cell that you want to put them in, and click paste. That's pretty simple. You could, if you want to get rid of these little squiggly lines, just hit the escape key on your keyboard. Another way to do it is to come in and highlight it, and you can click and drag it wherever you want. This is more of a cut and paste tool. So if I wanted to move these numbers down here, you highlight it, you put your cursor over the outside edge of the box until you get the 4 arrows, and you can move it to wherever you'd like to put it. You can also use the cut and copy functions up here under the Home tab. Okay, I have 2 more things I want to show you. Let's say you didn't want these numbers right justified. That means on the right side of the cell. You can highlight the set of numbers that you want, come up here and use your center tool, and it'll center them within the cell. Let's say you didn't want the numbers to look like that. Let's say you wanted percents, but you entered in fractions. So, or decimals, sorry. Let's say you did 0.23, 0.45, 0.89, and you have these decimals in here. Because you entered it in that way, that's the way it'll show up, as long as under your Home tab and your Numbers tool, it says General. But if you wanted it to be percents, and here's a list of everything that it will convert those cells into if you'd like it to, but these are the most used down here, you can just click percent. Well, you have to have that highlighted first, and it'll convert those decimals into percents. Or let's convert them back into decimals, and or move your decimal over a certain area. You can do it that way as well, as long as you have enough numbers in your value. But let's go back to putting them in decimal form. Come up here and hit General, and it'll put them back to the most general formatting. If you wanted to put them as a currency, it'll add a $sign. If you wanted to change the length of the decimal, you could do that. If you wanted them as a fraction, it'll convert them to fractions, whatever the case may be. Sometimes when I enter data, the number will default to something weird looking. It'll be adding in decimals or a percent or something, and I don't know what's going on. Oftentimes it's just a matter of coming up to this number tab and making sure that you have it specified as whatever type of number you want it to be. Okay, I think that pretty much covers some basic formatting for data entry. We'll move on to another topic in the next module.